A wave hello. A wave goodbye. The way we live. The way we die.
Put all your fingers on the table flat. Okay? Now just do that with your thumb. Make your thumb work by itself.
That's one.
Good. And then that's the space. Find the D for Des.
This is here.
I volunteer here once a week. So I have Des and I have another villager called Paul who come and work with me. And mostly we work with the computer. He practices using his fingers, his coordination. And we talk quite a lot about this and that. And he decided to work on his biography. This became very important to him. We're getting the hang of these. And let's use their thumb.
My story is what you call love story.
Excellent. Well, why did you call it that?
Because, why did we call it? Why did we call it?
Why did we call it love story?
Because, why did we call it love? What do we call love? Love story.
Who's Love?
Because my name's Love.
Okay. Explain who you are.
Because my story was called Love Story because my name is Dessy Love.
I am Desmond Love, and this is my story. I grew up in and around the town of Dromore, County Tyrone. At that time, my family was living in a very poor house. It was a council house and it was called Mackaragart, out near Jenny Gooden's shop. The cottage was cold and damp, and when Mother put paper on the walls, it would always fall off again. We had a good neighbour. She was called Chris Gooden. She would tell my mother to send one of us children up with a bottle, and when the cows were milked, she would give us fresh milk.
Smile, put a smile on, put a smile on, put a smile on, Lucy. Hey, Lucy.
Camphill started during the Second World War. There was a group of medical students surrounding an Austrian doctor, Karl Koenig, who had this initiative of starting a home for children with a learning disability with special needs. When the first children reached adulthood, the impulse of the village community started. And with that, the typical setup is that there's often land, farms, and you have various households and workshops where families life share with people with a learning disability. At the moment in Clanabogan, we are between 85 and 90 people altogether, 28 of whom have a learning disability.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning, Bequita.
All right. Yes. Oh, fine.
Three guys.
Smear,
Man,
Molly,
morning,
and Rastal.
Monday, free. Second,
Been sick.
sack.
Rastal sick.
How are the sack?
she's going perfect order now. She does that job there for wheeling timber and stuff and all like that, for stuff and all like that. And I keep her for a spare trolley. She's kind of a spare. The more she's good use, she might be in good rusting, but I can always sand that. I can always sand out. That's what does that, because there's wet bins goes into her like that. She's the best trolley I ever drove.
My name is Anja Sturm, and I'm one of the home coordinators in Clanabogan, and I live in Sunrise House. Traditional name for home coordinators in Camphill was house parent. So, I mean, years ago I would be called a house mother, but the name has changed, you know, with all the regulations and change of standards. So we are now officially home coordinators. The farm in Clanabogan plays a big part in the life of the community, you know, it's the center of the community as well, where we produce a big amount, we produce all the meat we eat, we are producing the milk, the yogurt, and we are producing quite a lot of our own vegetables, but by far not enough for everyone, because we are about nearly 100 people in the community, and we are not really 100% self-sufficient. We have about 20 young people who come from all over the world. They contribute a lot to our way of life, and without the young volunteers, I think Camphill would not be able to exist.
I'm working here as a co-worker. My name is Sofia. I'm from Hungary, and I'm here since 10 months. I'm leaving in August to go back to Hungary, and I cooking here 3 times a week. Usually it's meat and vegetables, what we have here in the community. We prepare it together with Catherine Roberts. She's a great help. She can do really half of the work. Today I'm cooking a Hungarian specialty that's called goulash. Usually 11 people are coming for lunch, so it's quite a big job, so that's because I have to cook the whole morning. Yes. Catherine, do you want to get some cold water? And
I have black tea later.
Yes, you can have black tea later. Catherine is having a wee rest in the morning. Catherine gone, and after she's having her tea break with us together with Catherine Roberts and me.
And do a bit of bacon. You should have got them on like me, and I would have baked you a lovely cake.
This is granola, which is a breakfast cereal. So Desmond's just after mixing it up by hand. And what we're doing now is just spreading it out onto the baking tray, and we'll place it in the oven for about an hour or so.
You see it, show them the tray and then you'll know.
Yeah, we'll do this first, and then you can put it into the oven, okay?
I'll get this bit here for up, Stephen.
Just, you can do it.
I bet I might have to put a bit on here.
Good.
There's a bit of this coal hole here.
Excellent, that's good.
See that hole here?
No, that's a perfect. Right. You just wash your hands, and then you can put it in the oven for these guys, okay?
My father was very handy about the house. He could cook. He would bring my mother down a cup of tea in bed, and he would get us children out to school. He was a clever man. He could tie his own laces and sew on buttons, wash the clothes and do anything you could name. I remember him sewing a patch on an old pair of overalls with a big hole in the knee. First of all, he clipped off the back pocket and said, "There's no need for this here." Then he sewed the pocket patch on the knee, as neat as you like, and clipped off the material that wasn't needed. He did a lovely job.
Oh, never leave me. How could you use a poor maiden so?
We have probably about 12 weavers here, and each person has their own loom that they work on. So co-workers and I work together and wind the warps, very colourful ones, as you can probably see on the looms. We use cotton, we use linen, we use wool, and we get different weights of weaving, and the weavers can work quite well by themselves. Okay, Linda, you come for your tea now, yeah?
Really come here in a minute.
And Joey, you're going to come for a cup?
My name is Jaeyoung. Well, when I was third grade of university, I got to know about Waldorf education, and at the time I was interested in education philosophy, and then the Waldorf education was a little bit interesting for me, and then I was looking for how can I get that, because in Korea we don't have much course about that, so I got to know this Camphill, and then I applied for 1 year, and then I learned a lot how to deal with other people, and then I observed people. Also, I got to know my inside, who was I was before, and then who am I now, and yeah.
A lot of people want to make an experience abroad, and they also want to somehow help. I think they're really interested in the work with people with special needs. And they also come not to earn money, they come as volunteers. I mean, it's interesting to meet all these young people, and of course they have changed over the years as well, you know. But it's sometimes a challenge, but it's also a reward to work with young people, because everyone brings something along which is new, you know, and new ideas, new ways of cooking, and I've learned to be very open over the years. I'm originally from Germany, and we moved 21 years ago to Ireland, to this community. We were married, and I was pregnant with my first daughter, and we were just wondering where our life would lead us to. And I had previously a year experience in a Camphill community in Germany, and Martin had contacts to Ireland, he knew people here, and so via friends we came to Clanabogan.
It's a nice car.
New coat of paint.
I live here with my wife and 4 children, or rather young adults. And yeah, my oldest daughter is now 20, Michelle, and then Christopher is 18, and Andre is 17, and Jamilia 14. They all sort of feel very much part of the community and have grown up life sharing with adults with a learning disability, and to them that is quite a natural way of life.
I'm Jamilia Sturm, I'm 14 years old and I live in Camphill. It's interesting in Camphill because you meet a lot of new people from different places, and sometimes it's hard because you've no privacy in your house, and if you don't get along with a person it can be awkward, but overall it's good.
I think the children have benefited very much from growing up in Clanabogan, and for me as a mother it was a wonderful opportunity to somehow work and have this fulfillment of meaningful work, and at the same time have the children surrounding me really from morning till evening. At that time I was cooking every day, and the children could just sit beside me and play in the kitchen. And this is a wonderful opportunity in Camphill, you know, for a mother with children, to be with your children but at the same time have a fulfilled, meaningful work.
My father was out on his motorbike one very foggy morning, and my father was killed by a man in a car. The man who killed him did not stop, and his Morris Minor car dragged my father away down the road. He was caught by the police, and although he said he did not do it, the judge said he did do it. A while after this, my mother died. So I moved in with my sister Violet and her husband in the town of Dromore.
This is my sister, my only sister.
Not your only sister?
My sister I lived with, I lived with her. Sometimes they threatened me to lock the door, but they wouldn't come in at night. They'd say, if you're not in on time, the door will be locked. They'd say, you're not getting in. Go back wherever you come from. That's what they say.
What's today?
Orange Day. We're having a good day today.
Many bands from here, I get.
I don't know, many bands. Well, it could be about 50 or 60 or maybe over 100 or 200. All the celebrates, people want peace or something like that, But I don't know what should it would it be, but what it would be like tonight, but I'll not be here tonight. I could be in the bed sleeping or something like that.
Desmond came to live with me in 1981 when our mum died. He came to live with me, and he lived with me until we moved from Dromore to Omagh, and he moved into Camphill.
Before I came to Camphill Clanabogan, I worked as a storeman for Robbie Adams and his daughter Rosie in their grocery shop in Dromore. I liked delivering groceries on my shopping trolley. I had a different shopping trolley for each day of the week. There was ones with blue, red, white, orange, green, grey and black handles. Robbie was an undertaker as well, so sometimes he had to go to funerals.
This is where Keith would do up the dead people, you know, like what you call a funeral arrangement, where when you die, you go to see him by a funeral. When you die, that's where this used to be a grocery shop, but then he turned it into a funeral arrangement.
As you know, Camphill was founded by Dr. Karl König, an Austrian. Here's his picture. When he then also met the handicapped child, this child with special needs, the idea of educating came to him within the context of communities, meaning people being inspired by certain ideals, and these ideals came primarily from the teachings of Rudolf Steiner, who founded anthroposophy. Anthroposophy asks you to learn to become, to know your own self, to discover yourself. And teachings and guidelines on how to do that is given by Rudolf Steiner, Dr. König continues that.
Also was her father and mother before, as they both wheeled their barrow through streets broad and narrow, crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Crying cockles and mussels, alive, alive, oh. Alive.
Most of the people really love music. The villagers absolutely adore any kind of music, especially the ones that they know. So I try to sometimes just sit down and in the evening play a little song that they might know, and then they sing along, and it's kind of bonds everybody together.
There's another one of them there, look.
Four country roads winding to...
I like Big Tom, and I like the ones the ducks and ones this, because I worked for that man there, Robbie Adams. You know, I see that there would be my sister's lad there. I'd be his uncle. And that's me the time I worked in the garden there, you know me there with the sticks. There's me and Gillian there in front of you, look. Nicky Humphrey. She used to be a girlfriend of mine, but she's married now.
I see now and then the trees where we sheltered from the rain, and once in a while...
Desmond has, I think, he has found a home in Clanabogan, and he has opened the community up, coming from the locality, very close locality, you know. He has opened Clanabogan up for many, many, many more people. And Camphill communities can appear as some bit of closed little castles, you know, not accessible for the locality. And I'm sure Desmond has helped us to be respected.
As a co-worker, and most co-workers actually come out, would be to here on the main street or at a different place, doesn't matter, but yeah, well, especially here because of the bars, they're so close together, and it's also in the one place, and you don't need to go in or out, or you're actually in the one compound.
milk the cows with milk and bring them to the calf shed.
A couple of weeks ago, I got some white Aylesbury ducks. There were 6 of them, and before I got them, they all lived in a big dark house with thousands of other ducks. All the others went to the factory to be killed, so I'm glad I saved some of them.
They also supply, they also give good, because they get good food. And they also know they've got a good home, and they like me because I'm very good to them, and because I give them good food and I give them a good bed of straw and I clean them out every day and I look after them. We can eat them duck eggs. But I really love Timmy Lerva that love the duck egg, Christy Burdise that love the duck egg, everyone in our house would love the duck egg. I don't know about David Endowhistle, he'd love the duck egg or not, but everybody else loves the duck egg. Here. There's my baby there, look. You see it? That's my baby runner there, my baby duck there. That's when the hen, she brought it out. So it'll be going to the big ones. When it gets big enough, it'll be going to the other ones. That's why it's a different colour.
It could be. I only knew the way to.
Most of the time in the community, because the community is at the same time my home and my workplace.
Yes, don't. Let's go on, we want to walk.
So I would say the work for the community is about 10 hours a day, 6 days a week.
A birthday or living day or special day, we go there, go out.
In the holiday season, usually the permanent co-workers would take a proper break, just to have a break from everything once, and we would go abroad usually for 2 or 3 weeks. Because it's difficult to have a real holiday when you're living with everyone all the time.
On the bus, come back, darling.
We can talk about.
I'm on the bus, come back.
We can talk about the bus. Maybe for the bus.
Grass? One grass? Yeah.
Yesterday, we went in the bus to the Giant Causeway. Yeah. And we went for a good walk, and it was raining cats.
And dogs.
So how do you do cats and dogs? Cats and dogs. So we do it again. Cats
and
dogs. Yeah.
No, dogs.
Oh, sorry, yeah, dogs. Yeah, excuse me.
Rabbit.
Yeah, that's a rabbit, yeah. Makaton is used for communication, and it is helping people who don't have speech or who do not understand speech or who have a problem with speaking. And it is very nice to do it with a group of people because everybody should know it actually. Otherwise, the person who is dependent on it has no other people to communicate with.
Oh.
It's a bit similar to the sign language, to the British and the Irish American sign language. And people who come from other countries also can recognize some signs, but it is actually specifically British.
I've smoked a pipe as long as I remember. At times I smoked cigarettes and cigars, but they got too dear, so I started the pipe. I've tried out every sort of tobacco. I said to myself, I must try Condor because it smelt lovely. I got some from the Free State sliced, or ready rubbed. It was the nicest tobacco I've ever smoked. It had 2 lands in the packet. I even smoked whiskey flake tobacco that came on a tin. It was beautiful, mild and sweet. I tried to give up smoking when I got sick, and the doctor told me I should give it up. But it wasn't any good, and I don't think I will stop now.
That's why I saw you in front of Hetty's office. Right. What else
So that's what we're doing today. Me and Mark Bigwood, the two of us
Cutting
together.
grass.
Do
All
you know what strange woman?
Which strange woman?
A strange woman way across there.
No, I don't know.
I think I've seen her before.
Did you?
Metsa. She goes till, what do you call it?
Horse riding.
You ready to walk on? Tell Pluto to walk on. What? Be firm.
She loved Big Daddy loved forever. And she said marry Big Daddy, the man from Tyrone and the county Tyrone.
Touch your hat. Touch your shoulder. No. Yellow hand. Yellow hand. Shoulder. Touch your knee. No, Timmy. Yellow hand. That's it.
There were cakes and the candles, and the bride was shining spark. And Johannes, he got cross with the elephant tractor, and Martin Storms, he got drunk. And it was the best of the crack. And Timo, he was laughing for the best of the sack.
Look, Timmy. Wave. And then you put both hands up. And touch your hat. And touch your shoulder.
Mr. Love, he got wed to Anna Fermanagh and the county Tyrone. By God, the words were the best. There were tricks what night would play for the way we could say, and the man and the county Tyrone.
Put the weeds out.
Many young co-workers come just for 1 year as a gap year between school and university. But the time here, what they learn about themselves and from the special needs adult, the villager, is often such that it changes the idea of what they're going to study. Oh no, I'm not going to study banking or finance, I'm going in for social work. Very many of our young co-workers, when they leave here, find a social, therapeutic or medical profession, but they didn't come with that intention.
A wave hello. A wave goodbye. The way we live. The way we die. Life's a beach.
mega schöner Strand und ja, es ist noch schöne Sonne und es regnet wenigstens nicht und es ist super geil.
I thought on the that this is a nice beach. Okay. Ez egy gyönyörű szép strand, és gyönyörű szép idő van. Ennyi. 저는 한국에서 왔고요. 바다가 무척 아름답습니다.
Das ist ein wunderschöner Strand und wir genießen den Abend. Und das Wetter ist schön. That's it.
오찬!
Life's a beach. A wave hello. A wave goodbye.
What's that?
Life's a beach.
And here we have something more like a magician, a wizard. This one is big enough to ride on it. Yippee!
What is your job actually? Do you have a job?
I don't know.
You don't know? Now what are you doing here?
No, nothing.
You're doing a lot actually. Who did all the dwarfs?
I'm not your slave.
Nee, you're not my slave. No. Yeah.
I asked them to collect pictures of what they would like to make. Yeah. So there's Emma, who at one time wanted to make a duck. Yeah. So she had lessons on the computer and asked her teacher to find pictures of ducks. And then we find some wood. Normally people will think this is just firewood. What will you do with this? It's rubbish. But there's very interesting forms in it. It's developing forces of fantasy. It's a very creative process. Some look very much like curious human beings, but we also have there something that's definitely not a human being. It's something very Irish too. A gnome called in Irish a leprechaun. And here we've got one of 7 in the end. Now this has taken, I think, a year and a half to carve. And the idea was to carve figures related to the elements of earth, water, fire, air, and give back something as a thank you to nature. When I was over 50, I took another year out and went to art college for a year to do postgraduate training. But again, it's pulled me back to Camphill communities where I found this is really the ideal situation to work creatively with special needs people and with normal people, if there ever is such a thing as normal people, which I believe there is no such thing.
No, keep them closed. Keep them closed. This is a surprise, that's why.
What is the surprise? What?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Desmond. Happy birthday to you.
Dessy is 55 today and very proud of it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, Catherine.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Hey! Hey!
Can you and Bert sing together? What do I sing? Pretty little girl, Mama. Sing the White Rover. Do the White Rover, aye. I've seen the White Rover for many a year. I spent all my money in whiskey and beer. And it snowed never. Though they never no more. Will I play the White Rover? No, never no more.
There's times when I think that I would have liked to be a daddy. I'd have made a good, kind daddy, but I'm getting too old now, and I doubt that there's no woman that would have me.
Fed them in the morning, fed them in the evening. I swapped three drakes for that, for them ducks. Yeah. You ever see them two ewe drakes? No. No, but the two ewe coloured ones. Did you ever see them two coloured ones? Them's two ewe ones. What do you think of them? Do you like them? Stupid trying to take them back in your to Czech Republic in your suitcase now. I know where they went to. But I don't think you'll be allowed to take them back in the suitcase. I believe you're joking me, are you? You are joking me, aren't you? Would you take them back? You would not. My runner ducks.
The best teacher to change yourself is the child with special needs. To you, a very annoying mirror of who you are.
And that's blonde.
No! Blonde.
Black and blonde.
And every person who deals with special needs people and thinks they go on one's nerves and they're irritating, disruptive and annoying, does not realize that what he's facing is his own mirror image.
Emma Joyce.
Right. Right.
You look like you're falling backwards, Emma Joyce. What's up? Perfect.
Yeah.
You should go home like that to Clanabogan.
And the moment when you begin to change, the child, the adult with special needs will change too. And in a small way, you have begun to change the world by changing yourself, by learning about yourself.
Most residents, they would go home to visit their own relatives over Christmas, which actually we find is a pity. I would rather prefer that we celebrate Christmas all together, because it's for us in Camphill a very important festival. But they usually would go home to see their own parents. And but we still have all our young co-workers here and some other people who would then join the different house communities for the Christmas celebrations.
You give this as well.
Thank you. Good on. Cheers.
reminds me of like cornflakes.
It's like cornflakes.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Cornflakes.
My fantasy.
We have also some celebrations together, and we meet all together in the hall at 12 o'clock for the midnight service. And after this, we would read the Bible passage in the farm and sing a few Christmas songs to the animals.
How about if you paint a dog here in the middle?
A special wish for New Year's Eve. Well, I would wish that we as a community can somehow work together and manage to solve our problems, appreciate each other and respect each other in our strengths and weaknesses.
So I must get eating now because I have a lot of work on in the day.